Welcome back everyone to yet another episode, and in today's video I'll be showcasing a pair of real shark skin leather in Tyrolese Construction by Paolo Scafora for the Noble Shoe. Coming up. How's it going, my friends? We're back with another episode, and it is a very special one because what I'm holding here is a pair of shoes that you don't really come across every day. And this pair is what seems like a two Eyelet Derby. It's made by Paolo Scafora for a client and friend of mine, and it has two very unique features, well, maybe three. And that is the construction, which is Tyrolese Construction. And this is pretty much Norwegian construction on steroids. It's very rare, very difficult, and in my point of view, very luxurious. And of course, the leather. The leather is stunning, as you will see in the close-up, and it is genuine shark leather. It has a lot of cool features, and it has this beautiful teal, green, blue, turquoise patina and color to it. Of course, it's hand painted. And today I'm going to showcase this to you. We're going to have a nice close-up. We're going to talk about availability and pricing, which is going to be a lot since this is made to order in an exotic leather. And I hope you really enjoy it. And I'm not going to hold it anymore. We're just going to go straight into the close-up and discuss after. So as we begin with the close-up, I'm not going to go through the box again. You can find it in previous videos. But I do want to tell you that when you buy from Paolo Scafora and the Noble Shoe, you get a really premium unboxing experience. And honestly, you get such attention to detail, including the amazing shoe bags, and everything is packed so greatly. You get free shoelaces, and in case you need a special fitting or an insole, you will get a really good insole that is also signed by hand. And so make sure to contact me if you need something special in your shoes. Let's move on. Because this is why you're here. And this is why you're here because this is an amazing pair. You don't see these out in the wild so often. And this particular model, like we said, is a made to order, special made to order. But this is based on the model 504 of Paolo Scafora. And this is a two Eyelet Derby, as you can see here. So it has two eyelets. It's not your traditional cap toe. It's a plain toe with no cap toe here. There is no broguing. There is no other details. It was better for this particular model. It's already busy enough, so keep it simple with the model. Two eyelets, you can find three. Very rarely you can find four, but 2 to 3 I think is the best option for this one. And of course, this is on what is the VOLA last, as you can see. Let me show you from the other side here. It has it's not exactly software. I would say it's a sort of between medium round and almond, leaning a lot towards almond. And I think it's a very comfortable last. I will talk about it a bit later. And yes, let's take a look at the back quickly. Of course, if you choose a leather sole, you have the classic Paolo Scafora sole, which is pretty amazing, to be fair. And this means that you get, the nice closed channel sole here with a very slight bevel waist because they focus on other details and construction more, because this is Tyrolese. And of course, the Paolo Scafora embossed logo, which is pretty cool, and I want one of my own when I grow up. And here, depending on if you want or not, you can add metal toe tips, which I always recommend in leather soles to prolong the durability of your leather sole, especially if you are the type of person that always plants the front of their foot first. And that concludes, the basis of what is this. This is just a two Eyelet Derby, but it has some very unique features, right? So what you see here is genuine shark leather, and you can see how grainy it is. It's very easy to distinguish because it looks like Scotch grain, but much richer, and it has these ridges and ripples that look like waves all around. And if you see and touch it for a few times, then it becomes quite easy to distinguish and just feel. And this is a very unique pattern as well. And this color is of course painted by hand, and it is a bit of a teal, you know, green bluish color, and it's turquoise, actually Antiqued Turquoise if you check at the Paolo Scafora site. And because of the burnishing at the front and because of the way the leather functions and the texture it has, it will appear darker than let's say on calfskin, right? And that is about the leather. It's actually quite supple. You do not believe how supple it is when you think that it comes from a fish like a shark. It is very durable, however, but it's still quite supple. It's very, very interesting. And another star of the show is of course the Tyrolese Construction, pretty much like a triple braid you would call it, and it's all the way around the shoe. So it's 360, of course, made by hand, lasted by hand, of course, and it is what you would call Norwegian construction on steroids. So pretty much an advanced model or like construction. I'm not sure exactly because I haven't studied it yet what if there are any benefits or structural changes. I think in the end it's equally as durable, if not a little more, and just a little bit more flashy and luxurious because it does take more time to produce by hand. Very interesting Tyrolese Construction. Of course, Paolo Scafora puts a sort of a tint on the thread, and it creates a bit more uniform appearance, you know, with the uppers and the sole, so it's not as flashy, if that's possible. And that's about it. It's a very, very interesting model. It has a very nice profile. I think this would look excellent in calfskin as well, and maybe with a medallion toe on the front. And I think that's all I had to say about it. Let's maybe take a look at the inside and talk briefly about the shoe trees as well. So let me show you the inside, which is pretty nice, just leather, and of course, because it's all made by hand, it has a full shock liner, including the insole that you saw in the beginning. And very, very nice, very smooth leather, very good job, and a slight suede feel at the back with a very short nap for some grip, to help with some grip. And of course, high quality shoelaces. And inside, right here, maybe you can see that it says some stuff written by hand, which is Paolo Scafora lavorate a mano per the noble shoe, which pretty much translates to Paolo Scafora has made this by hand for the noble shoe. And if you want, it's very possible to write your name instead here. I really like the small touches. It goes a little extra mile, right? And then we go to the shoe trees. The shoe trees are of course lasted, as you can see, and they're hollowed, so they have some space here for lightness. You can see the profile, it's pretty amazing, of the last of the VOLA. And I would say that, you know, these are very, very light, very light. And if you're buying such an expensive shoe, even if it's with regular calfskin, so it's cheaper, I always recommend, don't cheap out, buy the lasted shoe trees as well. These shoes are an investment and you want to take care of them as best as possible. Plus they look really good, and if you're traveling and you want to take them with you, it's very easy to fit these in your suitcase or somewhere else without adding a lot of weight. These are really lightweight. Of course, very ergonomic as well, very easy to grab the shoes or just the shoe trees, because the engraving of Paolo Scafora and here as well. And I certainly recommend buying lasted shoe trees at this high level of shoemaking. Before we go, here's one last look at the shoes from the overview. Very, very nice, very elegant, a bit of an elongated look. And here's sort of the profile, very, very nice. Discreet back seam, very nice work. And of course, this sole, that's pretty much a work of art by itself. And that concludes our close-up, so let's move on with the other juicier parts. And that was the close-up. Wow, what a blast, right? And as you can see, this model is quite large, because this is a UK 10.5, which would be appropriate for someone wearing US 12D. So usually they're not the best to showcase when it comes to, you know, sizing and proportions, but hey, that's all we have. It still looks very elegant, and I think We discussed this with my friend, a client, about making this makeup, and we agreed on the model and certain elements because this is already a quite busy pair and we did not want to exaggerate that even more. For example, there was an option that you could take the same derby and put a medallion toe. However, this already is a shark skin shoe and the medallion will not be so visible and it would just make it a bit busier, right? And then you got the construction. So just keep it quite simple, put a leather sole on it, and as well, because of the shark skin leather structure and texture, it will be, all the patina and color will always show a bit darker, as you can see. So this is not as turquoise as it would be on calfskin. And that's pretty much it. Very, very nice model, very interesting as well. You would be surprised how cool shark leather is, and you should just think about it as Scotch grain on, well, not steroids, but a bit grainier and richer. And it's so supple, it's quite strange if you think about shark as a fish. And that's about it. I already touched about sizing. This particular model is a UK 10.5 and it's on the VOLA last, which I consider a very comfortable and spacious last from Paolo Scafora. Generally, they tend to run a bit larger. So if you are, let's say, for this particular one, if you are a UK 11 in most of your shoes, let's pick up St. Crispin's, for example, in the classic last, or simple Carmina Rain, or Crockett & Jones 348, then you would take a size 10.5 in this. And if you're coming from the USA, a size US 12D on Allen Edmonds, which is pretty much the only reference I have, you would also take a UK 10.5, so extra half a size. Of course, if you have very wide feet or you're unsure, you can just drop me an email and I can help you regardless. Which brings us to the next topic, which is price and availability. So these bad boys are made to order. Usually made to order comes with a surcharge. First because of the leather, which is exotic, and secondly because it is a bit more complicated. You know, it complicates the production a bit more, and for one pair it's not worth it as much for each factory to make it, so they do charge you a bit more, which in this case is usually 20%. And this model, depending on the construction, of course the price varies, but including lasted shoe trees and of course metal toe tips, etc., and this leather, you should be looking at around $2,500 US, I would say. So around that ballpark. Of course, if you're interested, feel free to drop me an email. It doesn't have to be shark skin, of course. And I will leave all the information that you need to contact me in the description down below. And about availability, generally there are a few channels. Paolo Scafora is a small operation, so they are very careful with which retailers they're using. They have a few around the world, and I'm very proud to be one of them. And they're distributors. I carry a smaller stock, which you can find in the shop, but I am also available for a great price in their made-to-order offerings. So if you're interested, you can go either through Paolo Scafora's own website, of course, and they're very nice made-to-order configurator, or you can go through me, or I think there is another shop in the US, and in China I think it's Medallion Shoes that sort of carries Paolo Scafora. And that's about availability. As far as the design and wearing them, obviously this is a very bold pair, regardless of how you see it. It does need some confidence, and this is not for the man that doesn't have really any shoes. This is for someone that already has a lot of things and wants to delve into exotics, or has 20 pairs of shoes and wants to do the next pair more unique. And it is definitely a statement. Luckily, this particular one is a bit more subdued. Like, imagine if this was purple, for example. And definitely for someone with the budget. Usually, if you're around the $2,500 US ballpark, you would not be asking how much it costs, and you already have a budget and allowance and quite a comfortable living and spare income for things like this. But you don't have to go with an exotic. You can just get something more normal, which is calfskin or suede, for example, and that would take it, you know, about $1,700–1,800 US instead. And that concludes our video. And I would really like to hear your thoughts about this very, very unique pair, and generally the videos or criticism. If you're new to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you just leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and a like, and just a comment with your thoughts and interact with me, which is always awesome. And before I see you in the next video, let's finish up with the dad joke of the week. So, did you hear about the cartoonist that was found dead at home? I did, but the details are sketchy. Yeah, that was it pretty much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.